Myself, Mrs. Kishori P. Sutar, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Pharmaceutics, KLE College of Pharmacy, Belgaum. Hello, everybody. We will discuss about liposomes, which are the important carrier systems in pharmaceutics. Coming to the introduction part, liposomes are very small artificial vesicles, which are spherical in shape, and they are going to contain cholesterol and natural non-toxic phospholipids. Due to their size variance and the hydrophobic and hydrophilic characters, liposomes are going to be a promising system for drug delivery. Here we are going to have bilayer composites, which are going to include the phosphatidylcholine species from natural sources, that can be egg or soya bean, or phosphatidylcholine, and it gives more permeability, less stable bilayers, whereas the saturated phospholipids, which are having very long acyl chains. Then liposomes are promising systems for delivery systems because of their rigidity or fluidity as they charge the bilayer. Let us look into the advantages and disadvantages. Liposomes are vesicular in shape and they are carriers of variety of drugs. So they have increased efficacy and have better therapeutic index. Whereas the disadvantage is that their solubility can be low because of shorter half-life. Then the advantage is they are non-toxic, flexible, biocompatible, they are biodegradable, non-immunogenic for systemic and non-systemic administrations. Then they also reduce the toxicity of the encapsulated agents such as amphotericin B and Taxol and anti-cancer moiety. Liposomes also help to reduce the exposure of sensitive tissues to the toxic drugs, site-specific avoidance adverse effects, flexibility to couple with the site-specific ligands, and they can also help in active targeting. But as I mentioned, one of the main drawback or adverse effect is they have exhibited lower solubility with shorter half-life, and the phospholipid that is incorporated undergoes oxidation and hydrolysis-like reactions. They can also form leakage and fusion of encapsulated drug molecules. The cost of production is too high. The time required is also too long. And these are the important advantages and disadvantages that are exhibited by the liposomes. Now, if you just look into the classification, the liposome size varies from about 0.025 micron meter, and they can be as large as 2.5 micron meter of vesicles. They are single or bilayered membranes. They are acute parameter in determining the circulation half-lives of liposomes. Then the bilayers also affect the amount of drug that is encapsulated into the liposomes. Depending on their size and number of bilayers, liposomes are classified into two categories. First one is multilamellar vesicles and second is unilamellar vesicles. Unilamellar vesicles can also be subclassified as large unilamellar and small unilamellar. In unilamellar liposomes, the vesicles have a single phospholipid bilayer sphere enclosing the aqueous solution. So these type of liposomes are the one which are going to enclose or encapsulate aqueous solution of a drug moiety, which is then coated with a phospholipid bilayer. Whereas multilamellar liposomes are having onion-like structures, wherein the lipid layer is not single, but multiple layers can be observed. The methods of liposome preparations are as follows. General methods of preparation. All the methods of preparing liposomes involve four basic stages. The first one is drying down the lipid from an organic solvent. Then second step is dispersing the lipid in the aqueous media, purifying the resultant liposome, and finally analyzing the final product. So these are the basic steps that are going to follow, irrespective of the methodology that is being employed. The method of liposome preparation and drug loading is as follows. There are two techniques that have been utilized, passive loading technique and active loading technique. Further, passive loading techniques include three different methods. The first one is mechanical dispersion, solvent dispersion, and detergent removal method. Mechanical dispersion methods are further subclassified as follows. Sonication, followed with French pressure cell, that is an extrusion step. Then freeze-thawed liposomes, lipid film hydration by either hand shaking, by not shaking, or by freeze drying. Microemulsification is another step of mechanical dispersion, membrane extrusion, and dried reconstituted vesicles. So we have understood the definition, advantages, disadvantages, then the method of preparation. Now the characterization. How we are going to evaluate the prepared liposomes? The first one is the physical characterization. The parameter that we are going to carry out here is to identify the shape and the surface morphology of the vesicle. The method that is utilized here is transmission electron microscopy or freeze fracture electron microscopy, which is just going to collect the images. The surface and the shape of the vesicle can be determined. The next parameter is mean vesicle size and size distribution. It has been done by dynamic light scattering, zeta sizer, photon correlation spectroscopy, and gel exclusion are the methods which are used to determine the vesicle size and size distribution. The surface charge of the liposome is determined by free flow electrophoresis, electrical surface potential and surface pH by zeta potential measurements and pH sensitive probes. The amount of free drug or the amount of drug that has been captured is been determined by mini column centrifugation, ion exchange chromatography, and radio labeling. The amount of drug that is released at a particular period of time can be determined by using a diffusion cell or by a dialysis membrane. The next is characterization of liposomes by their chemical methods. The phospholipid concentration of a liposome can be characterized or determined by Bartlett assay or Stewart assay or an HPLC method. The concentration of cholesterol that is present in a liposome can be determined by cholesterol oxidase assay and HPLC. Phospholipid peroxidation is determined by UV, iodometric, and GLC. Hydrolysis of phospholipid, cholesterol, and auto-oxidation is been estimated or determined by HPLC and TLC, whereas the osmolarity is determined by the osmometer. Now, the prepared liposomes are also characterized for its biological behavior. The first parameter is sterility. Since the liposomes are meant for intravenous administration, they need to be sterile, free from pathogens and from microorganisms. The method that is used here is by developing aerobic and anaerobic cultures. And if there is growth of microorganisms, the liposomes are further screened for their sterility. And if presence of pathogens is available, that particular batch has been discarded. The next test is for pyrogenicity. Here we are performing the LAL test, that is Limulus amoebocyte lysate test, which is an indication for the presence of pyrogens. The next test is animal toxicity. We are going to monitor the survival rates of the animals that have been selected. Histology and pathology of those parameters are been studied to carry out the animal toxicity. The main applications of liposomes. So liposomes are carriers of the drug. They can also deliver some of the proteins. Controlled and sustained release can be obtained when the drug is formulated in the form of a liposome. It enhances the solubility of the drug because of the lipid bilayer. A hydrophilic or an hydrophobic drug can be enclosed into it. Then enzyme replacement therapy and lysosomal storage disorders is an application. It is also used in altering the pharmacokinetics and biodistribution of the drugs. Liposomes find their application as an antimicrobial, antifungal, and antiviral therapy. It is widely been applied in the tumor therapy. Then they are acting as carriers for small cytotoxic molecules, also as vehicles for macromolecules, cytokines, and genes can be delivered in the form of liposomes. Then genes and antisense therapy, genetic DNA vaccines can be enclosed into a vesicular size of a liposome. Immunological moieties can be targeted with the help of liposomes. Liposomes are also available as radiopharmaceutical and radiodiagnostic carriers. Then liposomes are used widely in cosmetic and dermatology because of their better penetrability. Drugs which are poorly impermeable can be enclosed in the form of liposomes. They can be embedded in the form of implants, transdermal patches, or oral dosages. Any of these can be given for the liposomal therapy. Liposomes find a wide application in enzyme immobilization and bioreactor technology. The references: Targeted and Controlled Drug Delivery, SPVAS, and Textbook of Industrial Pharmacy, Shobha Rani. Thank you.